Thanks to JL Hardwood and Flooring Restorations for making this broadcast possible. Our friends at JL Hardwood and Flooring Restorations.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome in to Stephen Wall Gymnasium here at Western Boone High School tonight. The Stars will play host to the Shamrocks of Westfield for this game. In front of us, Westfield coming in with that record of 12-6. The Stars 8-10 on the year. Nathaniel Finch joined by Willie Smith. Coach Smith, thank you for joining us here today.
My pleasure. Enjoy helping out.
All right, well, now that we move past those technical difficulties, ready to get underway here at Stephen A. Wall Gymnasium. Stars wearing white, the Shamrocks wearing green, and here is tip-off, where the Rocks win the tip-off with Braden Smith, their leading scorer. 27 minutes per game is what he's going through. I'm thinking 19 points per game. Now inside, here's a quick shot and 2 to start this game off quickly with Nick DePasquale. Pretty impressive way to start the game for the Shamrocks. And now Western Boone's first drive to the hands of Stoudemire. Cortez Stoudemire goes inside and makes his layup, tying the game at 2. The starting lineup for Western Boone, Stoudemire as always with Jonathan McAtee, Connor Hull. And then after those 3, you have Brett Wethington and Jake Jones. Here's the Rocks going in, stops and pops for 2, but misses it. Rebound by Wethington.
If you're wondering about Spencer Wright, the word I've gotten is that it just might be a rest situation.
As for Westfield, the 5 starters, Braden Smith leading his team in points per game with almost 20. Benji Welch, number 15. Then you have number 22, Cam Hafner, number 23, Nick DePasquale, which you saw earlier with the 2-point shot for the Shamrocks. And then finally, number 30, Camden Simons. Those are the 5 for Westfield. The Stars have the ball on offense. Stoudemire dials up a 3, misses that one, his first miss of the game.
A little confusion on the Western Boone defense, allowing for an easy layup.
And now Stoudemire, after the first minute and a half, his team's down by 2. Wethington has the ball down low and will be called with a charge as Brett Wethington was just a little too strong on that drive.
That's a tough play. A little bit of a flop there, but it was a well-timed flop, which is going to get you the charge.
1 foul called against each team now early in this first quarter.
The key is the Stars are in a box and 1, covering 22 Hafner in a man-to-man. Actually, it's a triangle and 2, covering 2 guys man-to-man, 3 guys playing zone.
Some new looks on defense. Here's a 3 from the corner, too strong. Shot by Benji Welch, the 6-foot junior, and the clock is stopped.
They called him out of bounds on the rebound.
So now the Stars will start things up on this drive. Stoudemire's taken 2 shots today. He's got the ball. Stolen from him by Simons, and Simons with a layup makes that. And just like that, we have a 4-point game. The Shamrocks up 6-2 early.
They did a really good job hedging out on that ball screen and caught Stoudemire off guard.
Here's a shot. That one is missed, and now Westfield with the rebound, and Braden Smith. Smith with the 3, makes that one from the top of the key, and a timeout called by Coach Burkett and the Stars. For that timeout, we will take a timeout up here as well. Be back on WBTV Sports.
Bob's Concessions sells foods such as Polish and Italian sausage, tenderloins, hamburgers, hot dogs, fries, and more. You can find Bob Campbell and his delicious food truck at events such as the Turning of the Leaves Festival and other fairs around the area. For more information, call 317-850-6491. Opus Packaging is a proud sponsor of WBTV Sports. Opus Packaging provides customers with the best packaging and distribution solutions to meet your specific needs. Check out Opus Packaging online at www.opuspk.
Hold it. Back here on the floor pretty quick. Jonathan McAtee and the Stars have possession, already down 9-2. And here's a 3-ball shot by Jake Jones, but missed.
The margin of error is going to be pretty thin tonight, and there's a couple open looks that the Stars need to make in order to stay in this game.
Rebound by Stoudemire, 2-on-2 for his team, but Stoudemire will take the 3 and miss it. Rebound by his help, Connor Hull. And just like that, Stars are going to mount a drive. Inside Stoudemire. We see Caleb Freeman on the floor for the first time tonight out of that timeout. And now Connor Hull will take a three from the left wing. Makes that one. Connor with the first three-pointer of the game for Western Boone after 3 different missed attempts.
Stars are staying in the triangle in 2. Man-to-man on Smith and Hafner, and the other 3 guys are playing zone. Hull and McAtee are the ones playing man-to-man.
There we saw a travel turnover, Western Boone ball. And coming into this game for the Shamrocks is number 20, Matthew Penley, the 6-foot junior guard.
The timeout Coach Burkett took, but basically I can tell Westfield jumps those ball screens better than any team we faced this year, so they make an adjustment. You got to pick up your dribble and get it to the roll guy a little quicker. Here they jump it. That time they did not jump it. There they did, and we got to handle that double team for a moment.
We're nearing the halfway point of the first quarter of play. The Stars with 5 points in their name. A 3 ball's made by the improbable Caleb Freeman. He does not take those threes very often, and you knew he had a lot of hesitation deciding whether he'd take that or not, but he made it pretty impressively, his first 3 of the year.
Those are the kind of shots that the Stars are going to need to make to stay in this game.
And just like that 1-point game, make that 3 after that 2-point shot by Di Pasquale.
Problem with that triangle in 2 is the 3 guys just got a little confusion there and left someone open underneath.
Stoudemire calling for some help, gets it in the form of Connor Hull. Here's McAtee for a 3. That one's in as well, and the Stars starting to warm up from behind the arc.
Good ball reversal there, skip pass, good make by McAtee.
And we're tied at 11. Here's the shot, 2 ball missed there by Simons. Driving inside, reverse layup, that one's missed by Stoudemire. Rebound by the Shamrocks, tipped out of bounds by Jones. Westfield ball.
Stars might have to match up a little bit out of bounds. Triangle 2 is hard to do on an out of bounds play, and looks like they are matching up for a moment. Oh.
Westfield. Down low, here's a shot. That one's missed from the free throw line. And a shot down low. That one's made by Matthew Penley, the 6th man for the team in green. And now Western Boone looking to respond with 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in this first period.
When you have a team that jumps a ball screen like that, basically you got to fake the screen once in a while and just slip it to the basket without setting it.
And that's what we saw when the Stars played against Danville, one of the top teams in the class of 3A, and it worked pretty well. They took Danville to overtime, and that was one of their keys that Coach really hammered in before the game, was faking those screens.
Yep, go like you're setting a screen, then just slip to the basket while your guy hedges out.
Second foul called against Westfield. The first one against Braden Smith, the main man for the team in green, and now the Stars will be inbounding it with Cortez Stoudemire. A few ticks under 2 to go in this first opening period. Launching the pass, given to Hull with a lot of pressure on defense there from Penley. And now the pressure backs off. Stoudemire's pass almost cut, going inside, looking for 2, does not get it as Jake Jones rebound Westfield.
Smith sure is making Connor Hull work hard.
Going inside, here's a 2. And rebounded by Jones. Missed shots was by Hafner. Cortez Stoudemire takes a good look at the clock and migrates over to the right side of the court. Now to the left side with McAtee. Caleb Freeman with another three. Can Lightning strike twice? No, it can't. He is 1 for 2 this whole year from behind the arc. The shot inside on the left hand was made by number 44, Zach Byer. And now Westfield up by 4. The Stars likely going to slow things down for one last shot, bring him within one possession. Connor Hull facing some pressure. He will get the ball off. Under 30 to go.
Stars are going to hold for one shot. I think they'd be happy down 4 with the possibility of being down 2 or 1 if they can get a make.
Ten seconds to go. Stoudemire. He now has 6, trying to set up the offense. Freeman comes up for some help. Stoudemire almost loses the ball, takes a 3. That one's missed as it slipped off of his fingertips at the end. And with that, we will head into the first break tonight with a 4-point difference between the Westfield Shamrocks with 15 and the Western Boone Stars, 11 points in the opening quarter. And with that, we'll take a break here and be back shortly. Nathaniel Finch and Coach Smith on WBTV Sports.
Podcast is brought to you in part by Collins Equipment. Located in Thorntown, Collins Equipment specializes in high-quality used tractors, trucks, and equipment. You can reach Chris Collins at 317-347-0074 or at collinseq@yahoo.com. You can visit their website at collinseq.com as well. Contact Collins Equipment today.
We're back here after the first quarter of play, ends 15-11. Westfield coming into this game with the better record and now the better score through the first quarter. Sporting a record of 12-6, the Stars 8-10, and we will head into the second quarter pretty evenly matched.
It'll be interesting to see Westfield substitute out Cam Hafner, which was one of the guys that the Stars were man-to-man in the triangle and 2. Be interested to see if they go to a box and 1 or just match up 5-on-5, man-to-man.
Stepping in for Hafner was Eli Patchett. And now the Stars with some quick passes here in this drive. Jones looking for 2. He will be fouled in his attempt at it, and we will see Jake Jones at the free throw line.
There's a good solid set play coming out of the quarter. Got a lot of movement, end up with a good post up by Jones. A little further off the block than he probably needed to be.
Jake Jones, almost 60% from the line this year. That's just his 20th attempt, though, and that one misses.
Yep. Stars have just figured out that Hafner subbed out, and they're trying to figure out if they're going to change their defense.
Jones makes a second free throw, though, and brings this game within 3.
And now they're box and 1 with Hull guarding Smith man-to-man. The other 4 are zone.
Now going inside, throws the heave up, but missed. Rebound Jones off of the leg of Byer.
Even when you're in zone, you still can't let dribble penetration. You got to play your spot just like man-to-man when the guy's got the ball.
Connor Hull with the ball over to Stoudemire now. Stoudemire to Hull. Connor Hull backs up. And the Stars are slowing things down. We're a minute into the second quarter. Only 1 point to be scored between either team. And now Jake Jones wanted the 3 and will be called with the travel.
The official that should have called it did not, and there was a different official that called it a second or 2 late because he was surprised the first guy didn't call it. One weakness in a zone like this is blocking out. The Stars have given up a couple of offensive rebounds. It hasn't hurt him yet. Right now it appears Westfield's going to run a zone offense against it instead of a man-to-man offense.
Inside Smith with the nice bounce pass. Here's a 2-ball, floated up and made there by Nick Pasquale.
That's part of what you're giving up if you're the Stars. You're going to say, hey, we're not going to let this guy beat us. If one of the other guys can make jumpers from 15 feet, then so be it.
5-point game. Jake Jones and the Stars on offense. Weddington waiting his turn to come into the game. Connor Hull wide open for 3, makes that shot, his second 3-ball of the game.
Great patience, great ball movement, and Connor Hull's man fell asleep in the help side and didn't get out to him.
A 2-point game. Westfield with the ball. Over to the left wing. And the bad pass, miscommunication between the tandem of Patchett and DePasquale.
Smith was wanting him to come down and set a screen for him, and as he did, the man with the ball at the top of the key just threw it out of bounds, expecting him to still be there. Okay, turnover, and they're calling the foul on Stoudemire for the reach after the turnover.
That'll be Stoudemire's first foul of the game. The third one called against Western Boone.
Timeout Westfield. They're going to try to make an adjustment here to make sure everyone knows what they're going to be running against this box and one.
Yeah, timeout called. We'll stay here, though, in a game where the Stars, they've been really successful from downtown, Mr. Smith.
It definitely, in a game like this where Westfield's probably a little bit more talented than the Stars, every little thing matters. The free throws, every free shot you get like that, every good look you get, you feel like you got to knock them down, which also makes it a little bit harder because the guys know that, hey, I got to make this shot to stay in the game, and so far so good. It's 17-15.
Yeah, scoring averages, both these teams scoring around 60 points per game, but Westfield doing it against quite a bit better talent.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what adjustment they're going to make here coming out. 2 possessions ago, they did a good job of running Smith off of some stagger screens. He did a good job of moving Connor Hull around and got a good look, but you could tell he is a solid player, not just a scorer. He definitely can facilitate and pass the ball well.
4A team comes up 2 after that timeout. And now a 3 by Smith. That one's made. As soon as you say his name, he hits a 3 to bring this game to 5 points.
He is pretty good and only a sophomore. I think you'll see Westfield starting to pick up pressure a little bit here.
A charge. Yeah, that one pretty blatant as Caleb Freeman dipped his shoulder in before he took the shot. And that'll be a foul. The first one called against Caleb Freeman.
Again, it was just kind of a perfect, like I said, the defense felt the shoulder and just happened to flop at the right time again to make it look like an obvious charge. Last possession, they used Smith to set up a screen, and then he came back off of a screen.
Smith has the ball now, passes it out, launching it across the court. A couple open threes. Now they're going to drive in looking for 2, and now just going to back things up.
Since Hafner came in, they're back in the triangle and 2 again, so Stoudemire's got a lot more ground to cover up top.
Welch with the pass, Smith with the shot, too strong. And down low now, passing it out. Welch goes inside for 2, is fouled.
As I said earlier, that is definitely the weakness in a zone, and especially a triangle and 2 zone like this is offensive rebound. You've got to really make sure you get aggressive, finding a man and attacking the ball while it's in the air.
Jake Jones will come in momentarily after that missed free throw.
That ball hit the wrong side of the net. Didn't quite catch any iron. Interesting to see how he comes back from that. Welch is a 6-foot junior.
Shooting 65% from that line and misses both on that trip.
Stars are hanging around and need a good look here from somebody. Maybe get Connor Hull a good look or Stoudemire a good look.
Hold 2 for 2 from downtown.
Shamrocks are definitely picking up their man-to-man defense a little tighter.
Some more pressure. Pass cut. On the ground is a couple players, a player from each team. It'll be Western Boone ball, though, as we saw the Pasquale and Connor Hull dive for the ball. Inbounding from the corner is Cortez Stoudemire. Stars looking for an opportunity down low. That shot looked to be blocked. And Freeman not able to make the shot, but it will go out of bounds in Western Boone's favor. So we'll try this again from the corner with Stoudemire. (20-15) the score. Just past the halfway mark of the second quarter. Jones will go inside looking for 2. He'll get it.
He definitely has a size and strength advantage there, and he used it to his advantage.
Here's a shot. Missed. Putbacks in, though. And once again, the offensive rebound leads to second chance points. A nice heads-up play by Eli Patchett. And now Stoudemire goes inside, looks for points, but a foul will be called. That'll be the second foul called against Braden Smith, the lead dog for the Shamrocks.
Some coaches have a 2-foul rule in the first half, and it looks like Coach Sumner does have a 2-foul rule. He's going to set Smith for the rest of the half so he can play aggressive in the third and fourth quarter.
These next few minutes, very crucial for the Stars, as they don't have the best player on the floor for Westfield.
You can mark it down at 5-point lead at the 3-minute mark when he went to the bench, and we'll see how it is at the end of the half.
Connor Hull goes inside, stops, pops, and makes the shot. Connor cannot be stopped to this point tonight.
You can see just 4 or 5 games ago, Connor's just starting to get a little more of his basketball legs back to him, basketball feel, and he's just playing really well the last 4 or 5 games.
He sure has. There's a shot made. A nice floater there by Penley.
I think Coach Hall and Coach Burkett are discussing whether or not they want to stay in this zone with Smith out.
Here's a shot, 3-ball, missed by McAtee, who gets his own rebound. No, will go into the hands of Penley, who still has it. Some open looks for 3. Taking that one is made by Patchett.
That's a big basket for the Shamrocks. Stretches it to 8 with 2 minutes to go.
Now McAtee with a pass to Jones. Jones was looking at the 3, but will back up. Here's the 3-ball. That one's missed by Connor Hull. Rebounded by Patchett.
Stars have missed the last 2 threes, while the Shamrocks had a guy make one that the Stars didn't expect to. It's a big difference there. Instead of 2, it's 8. Now the Stars are in a straight man-to-man now with Smith out. A straight man-to-man.
Hustling around, loses the ball, and a foul.
Yep.
As we saw Benji Welch lose the ball and then accidentally dive right into the chest of Caleb Freeman, who recovered that fumble.
Tried to do a little too much there, and I think that whole possession, for the most part, he had the ball and didn't really get him much movement. Now he's got 2 fouls and he's going to sit the rest of the half.
Dave Pasquale in the game in his place. The 5th foul called against Westfield. And Connor Hull will bring the ball up for Western Boone.
Stars need to get a little bit of a run here with a minute to go. Try to cut this lead below 5 maybe.
Here's Stoudemire from the corner. Missed shot. He has been cold so far. Nothing to account for behind the arc is Cortez Stoudemire. Under a minute to go, looking for the last shot. A timeout.
He has decided to put Smith back in the game for this timeout for the last possession, so Stars will probably go back to their box and 1.
Another 30-second timeout called. And for Western Boone, on defense, you mentioned the box and one. How do you suggest that they go about if they can get a turnover here? And I mean, you've got about 53.9 seconds on the board right now. The Stars really would like to get some points here. It's a 27-19 game.
I doubt if Westfield's going to try to hold it for one shot with 50-some seconds. So if the Stars can get a stop and get one more look, get the stop, and 2 gets them to 6, a 3 gets them to 5, it'd be nice to have some momentum going into the half. But my concern with this box and one is we've given up several offensive rebound putbacks because you're trying to block out an area, and several times we've missed the backside wing coming in. So we really have to focus on the guards getting down and helping. It can't just be Jones and Freeman only. The guards have got to get down and help rebound as well. Yep, we're going to be triangling too, it looks like, again on Hafner and Smith like we started the game. And it looks like they might hold it for one. I didn't think they would, but they're figuring they're up 8. Worst case scenario, 8. Might be 10 or 11 if they can get a basket.
And now Stoudemire will step up, try to create a little bit more pressure, maybe try to force the hand of Westfield. With a tempting 3, but backing up and killing some more time.
15 seconds. Now, as expected, Smith gets it.
Smith with a pass, going inside for 2. A really nice shot by number 22, Cam Hafner. And with a desperation heave by McAtee, the Stars will go into the locker room down by 10 through this juncture of the game after the end of the first half. Score 29 Westfield, 19 Western Boone. The visiting Westfield Shamrocks dominating the last few minutes. It's going to be key for Western Boone to go into the locker room, really focusing on how to get those rebounds because they haven't had hardly any this game.
Yeah, and key to that first quarter was we had 2 or 3 guys make some threes who haven't. Like I said, Caleb Freeman made his first 3. Connor Hull had a 3. We had 2 or 3 threes that kind of kept us in there. And then the second quarter, we really didn't make any of those shots from the outside. And next thing you know, you're down 10. So the margin of error is really thin. You got to make just about every good look you get. But like I said, that just puts more pressure on you when you know that, hey, I got to make this, or else it's going to cost our team quite a bit. But we'll see what kind of adjustments both teams make, whether the Stars stay in their box and one or triangle and 2, and whether or not Westfield can make some adjustments to get a little more movement against it.
Yeah, some quick numbers here before our break. Jake Jones leads the team in three-point percentage of the regular starters. He's at 41% from behind the arc. Spencer Wright is at 40 right behind him. We have not seen Wright play tonight and likely won't. But Connor Hull at 39, those 3 boys right there, and it's going to be key for Hull and Jones to get going from 3. But Stoudemire is going to be a huge key for Western Boone's offense, whether it's from 3, from 2, going inside and on defense, as he's got all that responsibility on defense. Really, for the Stars, just need to make sure that Connor Hull can do his thing, but Cortez Stoudemire can make sure that he can start making more of those shots fall.
Yeah, part of it, I think Stoudemire might have 4 points. I think he's got maybe 2 drives, but for the Stars to be in this game with Spencer Wright not even dressed, it really puts a lot of pressure on Stoudemire and Hull, especially to try to keep this close and make something happen, just like the Danville game when I think there was about a 10-point game at halftime and the Stars came out in the third quarter and made some key baskets. But like I said, the margin of error is thin, and you need your best player in Stoudemire to have more than 4 points at this stage of the game.
For Coach Smith, Nathaniel Finch, we will take a break here and be back after a word from the West Central CTE Corporation here on WBTV Sports.
In teaming formats, and we prepare students to engage in production-related activities, manufacturing simulations. We create production systems, strategies, flow patterns, and we include the issues of safety, design, production and materials involved, and then maintenance awareness.
We're working with like 3D printing, welding simulators, laser engraving.
A lot of times it's the hands-on. When they're in the shop, they're not sitting behind a desk and doing different things, just getting their hands dirty and actually taking things apart, putting things back together. We are kind of unique that we do actual live work on cars.
If you're not afraid to get your hands dirty, you get down to work, then this is a good class for you.
We teach basic law enforcement. I like to teach what they teach at the Sheriff's Department, City Police Department, and at the Police Academy. I want to be able to teach everybody the basics of what they need to know to get into law enforcement.
We do a lot of hands-on projects, not really a lot of paperwork, but more hands-on, like we do scenarios, we do room searches.
Someone that's hardworking, someone that loves children, someone that has an interest in maybe teaching or social work, even nursing in like pediatrics.
My favorite part is probably getting close with the kids because I love kids. So whenever they like get attached to you and run up and hug you every day, that just brings a smile to your face.
EMT class. What we're starting to do is we're teaching the skills that EMTs use on a daily basis to preserve life. We usually get called at the worst times in people's lives.
My favorite part is definitely all the hands-on stuff that we get to do with each of our classmates, and we get to really put those things to use when we ride out on the ambulance here and in the clinicals when we're in the ER.
So it's pretty cool because we do get to interact with the paramedics, and like when we do our clinicals, we get to assist them. So it's an actual like preview of our future.
The West Central Fire Rescue 1 class consists of everything that either a career or a volunteer fire department would do according to the state of Indiana curriculum guidelines. We learn basic firefighting, basic building construction, basic fire behavior. We do hazardous materials training. We do vehicle extrication.
There's nothing like it. You look forward to coming to class, and you know it's not part of the day. It goes so fast, and you hate that it goes so fast. But you know, you kind of become like family with all the other kids in the class.
So the class is all about getting the students the basic entry-level skills that they need. CPR and first aid, being able to do a full suite of vital signs on patients, getting them the basic knowledge that it takes to enter the clinical rotation side of our program.
If you're even thinking about anything medical, wanting to do anything in that field of study or work, just take the class, try it out.
We're going to be taking care of residents in long-term care, learning all their basic needs from transferring to wheelchairs, thickening fluids, passing trays, doing their blood pressure, their pulse, their respirations, making their bed, just everything that they need.
This program will really give me the jump start that I need to help work hands-on in hospitals, nursing homes, anything that I can do to better myself to be a nurse.
No, we prepare students for everything heating, cooling related. Get them certified, get them prepared for the job market, get them employment ready.
Everybody has an AC, everybody has heating at home. I tried it last year and had a blast with it and decided to take a second year of it.
When we
you're part of the radio TV class, you're no longer a student, but an employee of a TV station. And we do everything that a TV station would do. We do a live newscast every day that's seen by the entire school, but we do lots more than that. We do movie production, where we actually produce a scary movie every year here at the school. We do podcasting. We learn how to edit using Adobe Premiere.
My favorite part is definitely being on air. I kind of have a big personality and talk a lot, so being on air kind of suits my personality and getting to know everybody and getting to tell the stories of Western Boone.
We are back here at Stephen A. Wall Gymnasium. That is Nathaniel Finch and Coach Smith here for this game. We got about a little over a minute to go in the halftime period, where the visiting Westfield Shamrocks, they're ahead 29-19. The Stars have had undermanned tonight without Spencer Wright, one of their best players, and they're making up for him by the hands of a couple three-pointers by Connor Hull, and Jake Jones with a few attempts as well. But that's not enough here, obviously, as they're down 10.
No, that's a lot of scoring to make up when you don't have Spencer dressed. But I said the first quarter, Caleb Freeman was able to knock down a three that really helped keep us in the game. And then Connor Hull had probably 5 to 7 points there during that stretch. But Westfield just kind of showed their strength there and pulled away a little bit. I'd say the first 2 to 3 minutes of this half is going to be important to whether or not this lead gets to 15 or if we can get it down to 5. But the first 2 to 3 minutes will kind of dictate what the second half is going to be like.
And I'm curious to see what the Stars do on defense here. We saw a few different looks throughout that first half, and whether they try to stick to what they're doing or just abandon it, go to more of a zone look here as they're down 10.
You can definitely see why Coach Burkett is concerned about Smith. He looks like an all-round basketball player. I do remember hearing that Westfield had a good freshman last year, and it appears Brandon Smith is the one. Only a sophomore, not a very big stature person. They've got him listed at 5'10". That's probably the program height. Sometimes you add a little inch or two every time, and probably doesn't weigh more than 150, 160, but definitely can play the game.
Yeah, and the Stars, they've shut him down pretty well to this point, but they've given up quite a few of those rebounds as they've played this defense.
Started more of a trapping 2-3 zone. Oh. Yeah, more of just a trapping 2-3 instead of trying to guard anybody man-to-man.
Connor Hull will be called with the foul as he threw his hand into the pile.
Okay, so now it looks like it's going to be a triangle and 2 again. Maybe just a one-possession thing to make Westfield think a little bit.
Going inside, a carry. It will be Western Boone ball.
I must have had a bad angle on that one. I didn't see that.
With a pretty open lane in the basket was Westfield, too. The Stars caught a lucky break there.
Yep.
McAtee will go inside. He's played this whole game. Something you usually see McAtee, one of the first guys subbed out, but he played well last couple games, and he's been rewarded for it. Here's Wethington going down strong, but misses his shot. Rebound by DePasquale. Going up, here's his shot. That one's made by Simons.
Well, when Smith left his feet there on that pass, would have been a great time to try to have someone take a charge and get his third on him.
Here we will see, look like stepping out of bounds was maybe Connor Hull. It'll be Western Boone ball.
Yeah, Simons was out of bounds when they both had it. But Westfield does a great job of really jumping every ball screen. And the Stars just got to be careful when they get that ball screen. They're going to have to dribble out around it a little bit or just not dribble into it. Maybe even split one once in a while, but Westfield does a good job of it.
Here's Stoudemire looking for 2. He does not get the shot, but he was fouled. He will have 2 free throws.
There's an example where when you're down 10 to 12 points and a team that might be a little bit better, you need all those little rolls like that to go in. That one just rolled off the rim. That's the third foul on number 15, Welch.
Stoudemire made his first 75% on the year, and he shoots more than double of any other star on the floor right now. Of those free throw shots, he gets to the line so often.
He aggressively gets to the basket and creates a lot of contact.
2 for 2 on that trip. Now Westfield with the ball. Driving inside, now back out. Here's a 2-point jumper, missed. Rebound Smith.
Another offensive rebound given up.
Here's a 3 ball. Dialed up and made by Penley.
That's definitely a pick the poison kind of thing, and the Stars are willing to give up a 3-pointer from Penley.
With the turnover, going inside with the shot is made on the left hand by DePasquale.
So far, the first 2 minutes is not a good sign. Stars have got down 15.
It's going to take a big comeback to get back into this game.
We're not handling that double team off the ball screen very well.
Launching the ball down. Here's another open shot. DePasquale for 2, but missed. Putback missed by Smith. And another rebound missed by Westfield. Now Stoudemire races down. He's on his own, 1-on-3. He goes up and is blocked. Out of bounds, Western Boone ball.
Tough no call there, but Stoudemire did a good job of keeping his emotions under control.
Wellington sent to take a seat, and Freeman comes in replacement.
Last time the Stars ran this out-of-bounds play, they didn't set very good screens.
Stoudemire slings the ball. It's stolen. No, McAtee has it. Jonathan McAtee out. 3 ball. And that shot's missed by Jake Jones.
Freeman did a good job battling for the rebound, but put the ball down in traffic.
And Freeman appears shaken up. There's the basket by Penley, who's played pretty well this game. Stoudemire over to the left wing with Jones. Stoudemire goes inside, takes the shot, misses it, and is fouled. That'll be the third foul called against Braden Smith.
His third foul, team second. At the line shooting is Stoudemire.
Coach is deciding to stick with him, it looks like. Stoudemire did a good job of creating the offense for himself there.
100% from the line through 3 opportunities is Stoudemire. Here's his 4th. Coming into the game is Eli Patchett. Sends DePasquale, the second leading scorer for the Shamrocks, to the bench.
We're going to see Morton check in if there's a made free throw here.
Stoudemire does make it. And now Garrett Morton comes in for Jake Jones. Losing some shooting prowess, but adds a lot on defense.
I had a feeling when Morton came in, they were going to go to a full court 2-2-1 here. Morton does a good job playing the back spot in this.
Number 12 is Morton. He's on the bottom of the screen.
Looks like a carry. Yep. Out of bounds to the Stars. The Stars are a good pressing team, but one thing I've talked about with Coach Burkett before is that they don't have the depth to press. You know, pressing the entire game, whether it's a half court or full court press of trap of some kind, just kind of wears you out unless you can go 8-9 deep. It's hard to do that. So he's trying to pick his spots where maybe he can get some kind of energy going, some kind of quick turnover, quick offense.
Here's McAtee for a 3. Oh, just bounces off barely from the right wing.
We had a good angle, was right on line, just a touch short.
Here's a stop and missed. Going out of bounds, but they won't call it. And rebound is barely there with the steal. Stoudemire. Stoudemire goes inside. The referee's letting the boys play.
And Westfield's very aggressive hitting the offensive boards too, especially when they know that once you get a couple early, guys kind of smell that and they end up being really hungry for offensive rebounds.
Getting the call from Coach Sumter. What we see is Matthew Penley. Slows things down, waits for Stoudemire to make the first move.
It's just a straight up man-to-man right now, it looks like.
A spin move pass over to Simons. Waiting to find a good offensive look. Or the Shamrocks haven't been able to yet this drive. And they've yet to shoot this drive. Inside, Simons, left hand, makes it for two.
Really good post move by Simons. Very good post move.
Stoudemire with a pass to Morton. Here's Connor Hull for a three. Missed shot on the floor. Stoudemire and Penley.
It's one of those that's kind of hard to see who was causing that. Did Stoudemire get fouled, or did he kind of create the contact and pull him down? But Stars get the call, out of bounds.
Penley's second, team's third this half. Stoudemire looking for some help. Gets it over to Connor Hull, back to Stoudemire. Cortez Stoudemire falls. He's got the ball. Timeout called.
Coach Burka got the timeout before the jump ball.
30-second timeout. We'll stay up here. Coach is reluctant to use their full timeout to this point.
They can only get 2 30s per game, so they're probably about out of those at the moment.
I believe so. And there we saw the Stars open up this quarter. They've only scored 4 points. They've played pretty poorly, as to where the Shamrocks have 11. Western Boone just struggling to find some momentum here.
Westfield puts a lot of ball pressure on you, and you don't get very many open looks, and when you do, like I've said 2 or 3 times now, you've got to knock them down, and we've had a few open looks this half and really late in the second quarter, and we didn't knock them down, and you need to do that, but they are just so aggressive. Every time there's a ball screen, they're hedging out, double teaming the ball. They've got either steals or deflections, and every deflection you get just kind of ruins your offensive timing.
2:37 on the clock. Stoudemire needs to get in. He will to McAtee.
And when you got such hard defensive pressure like this, it's even more important that you got to use the screens well. Off the ball, we're not setting guys up well.
McAtee for two. He gets his own rebound, just barely a three by Stoudemire, and Cortez misses the triple.
Westfield's really getting the ball up the court now in transition.
A foul called. We will see Welch at the line for two. As you mentioned, he ran up there pretty quick trying to find a shot.
Yeah, Westfield's probably got 6 to 8 points this quarter alone on transition baskets. A couple of just wide open layups where the Stars didn't get back.
Welch around 65% this year. Makes the first from the line. Coming into the game, we will see Pasquale as well as Smith come back in after 3 fouls. And then Zach Byer.
What, we've got Hull, Stoudemire, and McAtee have all played every minute, including 2 of them that have been chasing on defense. So they're feeling kind of tired.
Connor Hull, 2 minutes to go, sent out of bounds. 2:01 left in this third quarter. It'll be Western Boone ball.
Trying to give Stoudemire a baseline screen there, either direction, his choice. He decided to fake to the left side and come back to the right side. But Smith did a good job of switching out and getting his hand on the ball. I think you're better off not to set a ball screen here and let Stoudemire try to take him without the screen. Because all the screen's doing is causing a double team.
Stoudemire with the ball, spins around inside, sends it out. Here's a 3 by Morton. Well short, not his strong suit for Garrett Morton.
You got to keep them honest and get when your guy's sloughing off. You got to give it a look.
Braden Smith with the ball and the Shamrocks.
Smith does a really good job of using the screens. He knows how to set his man up and get it open on the screens.
Now going for a shot is made by Zach Byer, the 6'4" senior.
Another good fundamental post move, drop step.
Jake Jones waiting his return, and a foul called as Stoudemire drove inside.
I think they're calling it before the shot out of bounds.
A block, the fourth one called against the Shamrocks. First one against Eli Patchett. Stoudemire to inbound, over to the corner with Hull. Now to McAtee. Back to Stoudemire with the tray, but misses it. Stoudemire's been cold. Has yet to make a three-pointer this game. Foul. The shot did not count, although it went in.
They're calling it on the floor before, but another situation where they got the ball up the floor quick in transition. They've probably gone about 8 or 9 deep. They've got a lot more fresh legs trying to beat us up and down the court.
McAtee's first foul. Just the third one called against the Stars this quarter. .30 seconds to go in the third quarter tonight.
Westfield's going to hold it for one with only 20 to go.
15 seconds. Braden Smith.
Yep, it was kind of a questionable close call. You got to be within typically an arm's length for them to be calling the 5 count. And you could argue that Hull was not within an arm's length, but the official had his arm on, so you got to make sure you see it. Whether you agree or not, you got if he's got his arm going, you'd better get some separation. 8 seconds to go.
Starts with an opportunity for one last shot. Under 5. Connor Hull goes inside with 2, stops, shoots, and misses. The Stars only had 10 seconds to work with there after the surprise turnover. And with that, the third quarter ends. Shamrocks up 44, Western Boone 23. And a break for us as well. We will come back, and it will be the fourth quarter of play.
Smart Manufacturing is always there for your welding, fabrication, and design needs. Locally owned and operated by Gary Cummins and Dale Thompson. Stop by their new facility 7 miles south of Lebanon on Lebanon-Pittsboro Road. Or you can always give them a call at 765-481-8650. That's Smart Manufacturing.
Back here, Nathaniel Finch and Coach Smith bringing you the action of this Tuesday night game. 44-23 is the score.
One thing I want to mention about the 5-second call there is now that college and NBA both have shot clocks, there is no 5-second violation, closely guarded violation, except in high school where there is no shot clock. So, normally you don't get it in that situation. Unless, like I said, you can reach out and touch the offensive guy, it's not considered closely guarded. So that was a little bit of a surprise in that call, and Westfield questioned it most of the timeout. One of their assistants did.
Basically what that did there was keep Westfield from shooting because the Stars weren't able to mount enough of an offense.
Hope Stoudemire just tweaked his ankle a little bit.
Here's the shot is made, but all eyes on Cortez Stoudemire.
I think it's his ankle instead of a knee.
Marcus Stepp will come in for Stoudemire, who struggled on offense but played very well on defense. Marcus Stepp, no stranger to three-pointers. 46% on the year in limited time for Western Boone's varsity team.
Stars are in the 2-2-1 full where they're trying to trap at half court. Right there's where you like to get the trap. Did not time it well.
Going inside with a shot, missed. Rebound Westfield. Pasquale with the rebound, and it will be Western Boone ball.
Well, Westfield is just hungry for offensive rebounds. They are very aggressive, and we got to get bodies on them. Marcus Stepp seen his first action. He's definitely someone that can knock down a three if he gets a good look.
Connor Hull for two, makes that shot as he goes up near the left elbow there.
Made shot allows you to get into the full court press. Need to get a better trap at half court right there.
Now inside, throws it to the corner. Here's a three, missed.
That's part of what you want in a press is either a steal or have them take a quick shot. You basically want the ball back, and a steal or a missed shot gives you both.
Stepp almost loses the ball. Inside, nice. Connor Hull with a nice pass. The assist was Caleb Freeman. Hull with the shot.
Smith got caught staring at the ball, and Connor did a good job back cutting him.
Pushing the ball up the floor. Smith misses his shot. He gets his own rebound. And now going up for two. Give him the foul. Zach Byer will be sent to the line for an and one opportunity.
Just not getting the offensive rebound or the defensive rebounds, and a team like this, you cannot give 3-4 looks.
Simons awaiting his return in the game if this and one opportunity is made. Won't be. Rebound Western Boone with Caleb Freeman. Here's Freeman with his third three-pointer of the season and game, and misses that. Westfield ball. And it looks like after Freeman made that initial three earlier, then he's got a lot more confidence in him to keep shooting him. However, he's missed the last two.
Yeah, that one had a little bit better chance than the second one did. But, you know, this point in the year, teams are going to give that to you. You got to work on it in practice and be able to knock them down.
A lot of quick passing, some good eyes on the floor for this Shamrocks team. And we'll continue that trend here as all five of the guys have had the ball in their hands the last 20 or so seconds. Here's a shot missed. Rebound by Westfield once again.
Well, we're not keeping stats, but there's been a lot of offensive rebounds.
Three ball by Braden Smith.
And a lot of those offensive rebounds has led to second chance points.
Ball sails out of bounds. Western Boone possession looked to be off of the foot of Benji Welch. Jones will come into the game now, and we'll send Morton to take a seat. McAtee almost loses the ball. We'll race up the court now, over to the corner, step for three. That's too short.
They're just closing out enough to kind of get it in your head. It's hard to make them when you know you got a guy closing out on you.
Let's see a foul called, and we will see Westfield head to the line with Benji Welch.
Western Boone's number 24, Jake Jones. His first foul, team fifth.
Jones called with his first. Fifth one called against a man in white. And waiting to come into the game now is Luke Van Dyke. He's 6'5" junior, seeing his first action for the Shamrocks.
Entering lineup for the Rocks, number 21, Luke Van Dyke.
That shot's made. The free throw from Welch.
A little bit better that time than the first time he went to the line.
Marcus Stepp. Stars with quite a bit of passing this drive. Good defense by the Shamrocks, limiting open shots. Nearing the halfway point of this fourth quarter, McAtee for three. Up and over and in.
That was overdue. First three made in quite a while, probably since the middle of the second quarter.
Matthew Penley on defense. Played pretty tight defense on McAtee, but he just jumped over, and now an open shot for Van Dyke is made.
Smith doing a good job of seeing the whole court.
6'5" man Van Dyke had no problem just tossing the ball into the hoop. And looking at the roster here, second tallest man is Van Dyke. The first tallest for Westfield, the 6'8" Kevin Gale, is a junior. Have not seen him, nor do I see him over on the bench.
Pretty solid spin move by Jones.
At the line shooting is Jones.
Jake Jones from the line. 20 points separates these two teams. Make it 19. In comes Wellington for Caleb Freeman. And Cortez Stoudemire is returned to the bench for what it's worth after being over in the bleachers, being tended to by the training staff and Courtney Crabtree of Western Boone. Jones makes his second free throw. And I'm sure Cortez Stoudemire probably going to sit out the rest of this game after tweaking his ankle.
Yeah.
No need to bring him back.
Exactly. Got 4 or 5 big games coming up, extremely winnable games for the Stars, and no sense in putting him back out there at this point.
One of those includes senior night coming up this Friday. Home here, Western Boone against Cascade, and a deep three. Shot by Braden Smith.
Haven't seen much of a weakness in his game yet, Nathaniel.
No, we haven't. Here's a three from Jones. That one's nowhere near.
Yep.
And yeah, Smith's done it from all over the floor. What really impresses me is his passes, the way he's been able to avert his eyes and throw the ball into some pretty tight windows.
Yep, he is definitely not a leading scorer, ball hog kind of thing. He definitely gets everybody involved. You know, not your James Harden type that's, you know, one guy going to be shooting and the other 4 hope to get a rebound. He actually will distribute the ball really well.
Here's another three from him, but he misses it. Jumper over from the corner. Jake Jones almost loses the ball. Smith in coverage. Going to be impressed to see how he develops here. Only a sophomore is number 10, Braden Smith, averaging almost 20 points per game. Here's Hole for 2, contested but missed. And he was sent to the floor, but no foul called. In on defense was Benji Welch.
And I think you're going to see some Star substitution here to make sure nothing silly happens. It's where you almost want a little bit of an intentional foul to kind of stop the clock.
Well, waiting to come in is Kevin Gale. And you see on the line here on the roster says he's 6'8". He doesn't look like he's 6 foot even at all. Must be a typo on the roster.
Fouls on Western Boone's number 5, Marcus Stepp. That'll be his second, team 6.
Stepp called with his second foul, the 6th one called against Western Boone. After this, couple of free throw shots in the bonus will be Westfield if the Stars foul anymore in the last 90 seconds or so. From the free throw line made is Luke Van Dyke. And now onto the floor, there's number 32, Kevin Gale. Coming in now, number 34, Saki Vishnuwalakala.
And in the lineup for the Rocks, number 34, Saki.
Well said, Vince. Coach, Mr. Foxworthy he had the name all ready to go. And as the Westfield coach jokingly said to him, you had it all ready and you choked under pressure.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time we've seen Vishnu Malakala come into the game here. Foxworthy, I'm sure, has been practicing that name for the last 2 hours, and he messed it up.
Yep. It was funny, the Westfield coach teased him about it a little bit.
Me, I was waiting to see if he can come in at all so I can say that name. Remember the game last year? We were at Westfield, and he came in for the last maybe 10 or 15 seconds, so I was able to try it out. He's a senior, 6'3" forward, number 34.
So we got Miller and Garrity and
Morton with the ball.
Yep, in the game for the Stars.
Under a minute to go here on this Tuesday night. Stars without school the last 2 days. Will be Westfield ball with 52 even up on the clock. 57-34, the score in favor of the visiting Shamrocks.
I know it's kind of gotten to the point where people don't, just stand out there and dribble the ball, but I've always liked just going and playing out. You got guys in the game who, need some work instead of just standing out there and dribbling the ball for 30 seconds. At least you got guys in the game right now who don't normally get a play in a varsity game, and they get a little bit of experience. I might have spoke too soon.
Just over 10 seconds to go here in this game. Westfield will extend their winning streak to 3 games after a 10-point victory over Harrison and a 1-point victory over Hamilton Heights. They will win pretty handsomely here, 57-34. The score. Will be back shortly for a recap of tonight's game on WBTV Sports. We're back here on the floor. Nathaniel Finch and Coach Smith in a game dominated by Westfield, mostly start to finish. The Stars kept it pretty close throughout the first quarter, and it was only a 4-point game at the end of the first quarter. And then after that, the wheels fell off the train, and Westfield got their offense going. The Stars could not get hardly any rebounds throughout the whole game and really just gave the Shamrocks plenty of second chances for points.
Two main things I emphasized throughout the game was that our margin of error was really thin. The first quarter, you had 2-3 guys make threes, and really you didn't have any more made threes the rest of the game except maybe 1 or 2. So that margin of error of hitting those open shots, kept the Stars close in the first quarter, but then Westfield just pulled away. And then the second thing we talked about was the Shamrocks just killed the Stars on the offensive rebounding. And once you get a couple of offensive rebounds, it just causes everyone like, hey, I'm going to go attack it. I'm going to go attack it. And if you could get some good blockouts early, it discourages people from attacking the boards. But once you give up a few offensive rebounds, you're going to have 4 guys going in there every time, and we just did not handle that very well. And that's the weakness of a zone. You're trying to control Smith especially, but Smith and Hafner both. But part of that is you give up something somewhere else. A defense has strengths and weaknesses, and that's definitely a weakness, was blocking out tonight.
Yeah, looking at the schedule here for Westfield, they will host Franklin Central on Friday. They will travel to Newcastle on Saturday before hosting Frankfort next Tuesday, the 25th. As for Western Boone, mentioned it earlier, senior night coming up this Friday. The Stars will host Cascade here before 2 road games. The first Saturday at Sheridan, and then next Friday at Clinton Prairie. And those, of course, some pretty pivotal games here for Western Boone as they try to end their season going into sectionals at 500. Of course, the sectional draw this upcoming Sunday.
That is the key. If you can get these next 3 games, Cascade, Sheridan, and Clinton Prairie, could put you at 11-11 for the year, and that's a pretty positive thing considering how many football players you had. That kind of took about a month for them to really get in basketball mode and have some momentum going into the sectional, the 2A sectional that the Stars are now in.
Big thank you to the families of Marsh, Young, and Conyer for their support of WBTV Sports, as well as the rest of our advertisers, as you saw throughout the game today. On the floor, advertising is North Salem State Bank and the Gilman Home Center of Lebanon here at Stephen A. Wall Gymnasium. Big thank you to the athletic department of Western Boone, including Jeremy Dexter, for letting us come up here, as always, to broadcast these games each game for Western Boone boys and most of the girls' games. You can find all of our games on WBTV Sports at the end of the season. Those games will be put back up there on YouTube to find. You can go ahead and subscribe to us. If you click the notification bell, you will be notified anytime we go on air here for any of our sporting events for Western Boone. Final score, 57 Shamrocks, 34 Stars. Nathaniel Finch, Coach Smith, Technical Director Austin Smothers. That's our crew, and we will say good night and see you guys against Cascade on Friday.